when you come so close to not having a tomorrow, it gives you an immense perspective and it gives you a lot of clarity. And I think in that clarity, what I understand is that the most important person is me. And if I'm not happy, nobody else around me is going to be happy. And I need to do things that will give me joy. And I need to do things that help me grow. And there's a lot of it which is about me now.
She's a model, an actor, and a TV show reality judge. She has worked for more than 2 decades in both the artistic and the mainstream movies. And while language has blurred the lines today, Sonali Bendre starred in Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Marathi, and of course Hindi movies. She has flirted with theatre, is a cancer survivor, and a host of an extremely popular and successful book club. Recently, she made a debut on the digital platform in a series called Broken News. And judging from the response to the series, there is no looking back for Sonali Bendre. It's my pleasure to introduce my guest, Sonali Bendre, on Meri Kahani, and I look forward to chatting with her. So Sonali, welcome to my show, Meri Kahani. It's always wonderful to see you.
Same here, Bhavna. It's so good to see you.
So, I was just thinking that आजकल इतना बड़ा शोर मचाते हैं nepotism करके. You came to the film industry without any contact. You just happened to come.
Totally outsider.
Very well for yourself. So when you listen to all these stories, what do you remember about your struggle?
Actually, when I hear everybody talking about this and, this whole nepotism thing, and I'm like, what are they even talking about? Because this is not what I understand. I always felt this is one industry where it is as non-nepotism as it takes. I mean, at the most, you'll get your first film. After that, it's what the audience thinks of you. So how much can you get out of that? And if you've got that, and look at me, I mean, there was no connection. Bhavna, what an outsider I was. I mean, I was not trained. I didn't know anybody. And from there to kind of now having formed a family here, my whole world is here. It just shocks me when people talk like that. And like you said, everybody kind of tom-toms the fact now that, oh, I'm an outsider and I've made it. And I'm like, we never made such a big deal out of it. Oh, everybody was an outsider and, you came in and you did it. And that is what it was. You did your job.
So when you look back, what was the most difficult thing at that time for you? Was it learning dance? Was it not knowing how to talk to them? Was it difficult to add G and Sab after their names? What was the most culture shock?
The G was not a problem at all because I was brought up in that way. So you always did the namastes and you did, speak like that. So that was not the problem. Dance was the problem for me, Dancing because you feel like it is different, and dancing to a choreographed set was very different. And that was always a challenge for me. I mean, it gave me nightmares, Bhavna, I must say. I did a couple of these world tours where they do these stage shows. You remember how much of those used to be done? And after that, and it was a lot of money that came your way when you did that. And after a point, I said, no, I can't go through the stress that happens to me. I'm not going to do it. So I just stopped doing it.
So it's going through your filmography, and you have done all kinds of films. You have done some artistic films with very talented actors like Amir Khan. And you have also done the absolutely mainstream cinema, the regular formula films. Which was more easy for you?
The formula was difficult. It was very difficult because formula meant suspending belief a bit. And that was difficult for me. I was told that stop overthinking everything. And then it came to a point, and from the time when I could say that there is no logic to it, just do it because you're being told and enjoy doing it, is when it started falling into place.
Yes. So most of the filmmakers whom I met or writers I spoke to, they always liked you very much. And they always said that she should have done better, bigger films, and she should have made a bigger success than she did. She was kind of holding back. Do you agree?
Yeah. I know a lot. I was a lot of people said that to me, and they felt that I was holding back. Look, I think it was also very alien world, and maybe that's why it felt like I was holding back. But if you look back now over a period of time and in the long run, I don't think that is true. I think eventually today you stand shoulder to shoulder with somebody who, with anybody else at that point of time would have been, so I don't think. Also, I do feel that there is a second chance being given for a reason, and maybe I might do it now. You never know.
That is a wonderful thing you said. You have always reinvented yourself at a phase when it looked like it was a slight lull. For example, there was a time when too many movies were not happening to you, and you did theater, Tumhari Sonia.
Yeah.
And I remember
when I did Tumhari Sonia, I was pregnant, so it was till I was in my eighth month of pregnancy that I was doing this show. So I started doing Sonia when I was looking at something different to do, and I knew that I was trying for a baby at that point of time, and I was like, I was always very, very professional, and I wanted to kind of, once I take on something, not be there for it or cancel it and stuff like that. So I said, what, I've done all of this, and I had done, once I got married also, I was doing a lot of these South films and stuff like that. So I said, what, let me try something else. And that was, and it did pan out like that, because I could do that play till I was in my, literally 8 to 8.5 months of pregnancy. I was doing that play. And then after that, I, was so busy being the mother. So no regrets about it in that sense. It was just exploring, what is it? Can I do it? Also, it was like I was scared to do it. And the moment you're scared to do something, you should go and do it, because that's the one thing that either takes the fear away, or it is like, yeah, you definitely need to be scared of it, back off from it. So you will only know it when you try it. And I did want to try that out, because I'd never done theater, and everybody around would talk about, having done theater or tried it out or whatever. And I said, I need to understand it. What I discovered is it's beautiful and it's fantastic. I was doing it with Farooq Sheikh. Oh my God, that beautiful human being that he was. And, what I realized was that it's a beautiful form, but not something that I enjoyed so much, because a lot of people, or actors, I would say, enjoy the fact that they every day they go and play the same character and find a new nuance to that character, and they really enjoy that. But for me, I think I'm too exposed to doing movies and moving on from one character to the next one, where doing the same thing again and again was a little boring for me. So I was like, okay, but ho gaya, abhi aage badhte. So I think for me that works better, and hence, but it's only when I did it that I realized what of it that I like and what is it that I don't like so much about it. So you have to try everything, I think.
You just mentioned the South movies that you did. Today, the language barrier has blurred. The language lines don't matter at all. And imagine, you did it so many years ago. You did Kannada movies, you did Tamil, you did Telugu, you did Marathi, and of course Hindi. Which language was the most difficult dialogues to learn?
Tamil.
Because it has a very thick accent.
Tamil, then Telugu, then Kannada, because, Kannada, I had stayed in Bangalore, so it was, I was familiar with. Marathi was not that difficult because it was my mother tongue, though I'm not that intimidated. But yeah, Hindi was the easiest in that sense for me. But having said that, like you said earlier, that, one never spoke about how outsider and made it or whatever. Actually, if you look back at it, I was a pan-India star, as they love to say nowadays. It's the new thing that they say. Yeah. Yeah, so I was truly that pan-India star.
And without any nepotism.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And no sugar daddies, no godfathers. Yeah.
Yeah. So while life was
You
looking
know that, Bhavna. You've been part of my journey. You know that.
absolutely. So while life was looking very rosy, and then cancer happened, I don't want you to get onto it to too many details, but you bravely fought it. You were very courageous. You came out in public with your bald head, and you are today an inspiration for all cancer survivors. What is the biggest takeaway for you from this tragedy that occurred?
I don't think I was trying to be brave or to inspire anybody. I think I was dealing with it myself, and what I was doing to deal with it for myself, it if it ended up inspiring others, it was like a byproduct. So I have to be honest that that was not the intention, and I'm happy that I'm inspiring people and that love that I get, and that when people say that they're inspired, it does make me feel really good. But honestly, that was not the way it started off. I mean, when it beat my bald head, like you said, I mean, the picture I put out was because I was feeling conscious of my bald head, and I was feeling, like not stepping out. I'm going to stay inside, and I can't face the world. And the idea was to step out and then, just click the picture and put it out. The whole world has seen it. What more can I be fearful about? Everybody's seen it. Now, this is the way it is.
Did you expect it to come to this stage where you could be in control and on top of situation? Did you expect that you'll become so good and fine now?
Yes, absolutely. I was very sure. I promised my son that I'm going to be fine and I'm going to be okay. And it'll take me time, but I'm going to build the strength back. And it's just a phase, and I'm going to be over it. And I said, I promised you that. And I promised my 12-year-old that, and I had to live up to that promise. So, yeah.
Wow. So when did the book club happen? Was this after the...
No. The book club happened much before. So the book club happened because my team needed me to be on social media because they wanted that blue tick. There were too many fake accounts, and they were like, we can't deal with them. We need that one account. I was like, I'm not sure I want to be on social media. So no, I don't think I want to be on it, and all that was happening from my side. Then I got onto it. And I really liked it because Bhavna, here I was talking to my fans, and there nobody, all my life, nobody had ever seen me the way I was, because whatever was put out was always colored by that person who took the interview and wrote about me. It was always colored by their vision. And most of the time, that vision was of a Hindi film actress. And I'm saying actress because that's what heroine, as they called them at that point of time. And they had a mold to that, and they did not think that you could think more than that. And so they never asked you anything more than the typical questions that were needed. There were very few, people who actually had conversation. And those people like you, we are still in touch with, and we kind of get along. But most of the time, that is what it was. So for me, it was like, oh my God, I can just talk to people and get their responses, and they can see what it is like. And so I said, this is fantastic. And what I also realized was that it's a tool, and every tool, it's like how you use it is the tool is not good or bad. It's how you use it that determines how it is. And so I said, you know what? It's such a fantastic tool, and there must be something. There must be a way I can use it in a better way. And that's when the book club came into being. And, it was just my way of getting back to my habit of reading. And I felt that if I, picked a book and I did it like a book club, if I did it with the readers, then we read it together and then we discussed it. So I would have to finish it. And, I would just get back into the habit of reading, which I had gotten out of, and I was missing that habit. So it was just to help me get back into that habit. But the community just grew. And it saw me through, in fact, this community saw me through my illness in such an amazing way. So it's just become an integral part of me now, Sonali's book club and the community that we have. It's wonderful.
Not just that, it opened traffic for a completely different audience like me, who are authors, publishers. It is an honor to be on your book club show. All the authors are dying to be there. And when Sonali doesn't contact them, we become insecure. Next book mein and it adds color to your personality.
Thank you.
And now, when we least expected it, you have made your debut on the digital platform. And how wonderful that after the book, you come as a journalist, a channel editor who is fighting a battle every day. I think you were wonderful in the show. You have absorbed your character, the body language, the emotional expression, and also, in your interactions with your teammates, whether it is your juniors or your equals or even your boss, there is that little distance that you keep. And that is that we deal with, so we know it and recognize it. What was your reaction about the role? Were you nervous?
Yeah, I was very nervous because I was working with people like Jaideep and Shreya, who, in that sense, much more regular on OTT, and that OTT has its own rhythm. It's a long form. The technique is different, and, technology has changed so much from my time. The cameras have changed so much. So the way you look, the way the makeup, the hair, the way it's lit, the way the set is lit is different. The way the camera moves is different. So, so much has changed. And so all that, it's like restarting in that sense. So that was the nervousness. I have a wonderful director, Mr. Vinay Vaikul, and Jaideep and Shreya. So, just they are used to this, and the way they perform is so different and appreciated, and it's their forte, this kind of roles. And this is not what anybody had seen me in, and this was not something I had ever done before. So I was coming in there with a lot of insecurity and nervousness that, will I be able to pull this off? And I would say that, the way, for example, look at Jaideep when he plays a character. I mean, the way, how can I say it? जो सुर पकड़ता है ना जयदीप is so amazing. तो मुझे लगता था कि कहीं मैं इन सब के सामने जो इतने सुर में है इस नई टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ कहीं मैं बेसुरी ना लगूं, that I felt like I might catch a false note, so I wanted to be very sure that I didn't do that. So all that was there. It was all that was brewing inside me.
So now you got the sur, and now are you going to do more OTT shows?
I think the show has done so well that they're talking about a season 2. So hopefully, fingers are crossed, we'll be doing a season 2. It's also, done really well. So I'm really happy about it.
Also, in movies, you do one character and then you leave her after 3 months or 4 months or 1 year. Here you are with the character.
Bhawana used to do a film for 5 years. Remember? Yeah.
But here, the character is going to change with every season, and yet it's going to be Amina Qureshi every time.
Exactly. The beauty of being able to layer it more and more is so amazing. Yeah.
So what else you feel like saying? How is Sonali, the wife and the mother, coping with the changes? What does she have on her plan?
Well, I think, when you come so close to not having a tomorrow, it gives you an immense perspective and it gives you a lot of clarity. And I think in that clarity, what I understand is that the most important person is me. And if I'm not happy, nobody else around me is going to be happy. And I need to do things that will give me joy. And I need to do things that help me grow. And so, there's a lot of it which is about me now, this time around. Yeah.
So my last question is that you are hosting a book club show. Are you going to write a book about yourself and your life?
No, not really. I think because with social media, that's one thing that has happened, that it's so out there. Everybody knows everything about your life anyway. I don't think there's any intrigue about writing a book about my life anymore because it's so out there.
But a book about something else?
Maybe, or maybe also the other thing that I realize is that it doesn't have to be a book anymore. If I want to write something or if I want to be creative, it can be in very different ways. So yeah, that's what I think.
Fantastic. Sonali, you were an absolute pro. You answered so well, to the point, so interesting, engaging. It was a pleasure chatting with you.
Thank you,
And
Bhavna. It was so good to see you again and chat with you. And it's been very long during COVID. Hope to catch up soon with you.
thank you for tuning in. If you have liked this episode, do comment. Do rate on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe on your favorite podcast app like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Hubhopper, Castbox, Spotify, JioSaavn, so that you get notified when we come next. Stay tuned for the next episode with yet another guest, and until then, take great care of yourself.